Alright, so I'm going to give my prediction on the UFC 294 main event, co-main event. For the main event, we've got Alexander Volkanovski versus Islam Makhachev for the 155-pound title. And then for the co-main event, we've got Kamaru Usman versus Khamzat Chimaev at middleweight.
Ultimate punching.
So let's start off with the co-main event. To me, this all boils down to whether or not this becomes a wrestling match versus a striking match. Now, if Khamzat Chimaev can get the takedown, it seems to me as though Khamzat Chimaev has a larger arsenal on the ground when it comes to setting things up for submissions, pace, everything like that.
He's like, yeah, I'm delirious. Fully pick him up and slam him, but
yeah, through my chest right now.
He's just younger, more explosive, has a lot more tools when it comes to the fight hitting the ground. But let's not forget that Kamaru Usman was a Division II wrestler, and he has some of the best takedown defense that we've ever seen.
Land there partially.
Time and time again, you can see other fighters trying to take him down and him just getting right back up. So will this be the case when it comes to the match between Khamzat Chimaev and Kamaru Usman? From what I've seen, most of the time, we've seen people try to take Usman down. They give it that one attempt, he gets back up, and then they don't try again. On the other hand, we might get Khamzat Chimaev to do some chain wrestling where he goes through takedown after takedown after takedown. Now, one thing that Usman has on his side, so he is in phenomenal shape. That stuff doesn't just go away overnight. And if you look at Khamzat Chimaev, he's never really done a 5-round fight. He's always done 3. So I don't think his pace is going to be too big of an issue. Now, one of the big problems that I see occurring is that if Khamzat Chimaev can't get the takedown, if Usman can keep the fight standing, I think Usman will ultimately get the victory. And the reason I say that is because Usman has power on his side from the looks of things. They have a common opponent, Gilbert Burns. And while Khamzat Chimaev could never finish Burns with a knockout at 175 pounds, at welterweight, Usman basically finished Burns with jabs. So if he can keep the fight standing and just stick that jab, stick that jab, stick that jab, you know, jab cross, keep it really, really simple, I think he's got more power in his striking than Khamzat Chimaev has. Now, there is, of course, a few caveats to this. When we saw Khamzat Chimaev fight Burns, Burns rocked him. We also saw Kamaru Usman be rocked by Burns as well.
but I think technically.
Usman recovered. Chimaev basically dove for a takedown, and the round ended, and then he was able to recover. Now, here's the thing. This might be a different ball game at 185 pounds because this weight is a lot more natural for Khamzat Chimaev. He had to cut a ton of weight. Like, look at him. He's huge, even in comparison to DC, who was a heavyweight. This guy is gigantic. One of the things that a lot of analysts talk about is the fact that when you get clipped at a lighter weight, 170 pounds, it's easier for you to get rocked, to get knocked out. So that level of force that Gilbert Burns was able to hit him with may have wobbled him at 170 pounds, but 185, it might not do anything, right? Because he's got, he's not as dehydrated, his body hasn't been put through, as much stress to get him down to the weight. So as I said, to me, it boils down to whether or not there's a takedown. If there is a takedown, I believe it goes to Chimaev. If there isn't a takedown, it goes to Usman. To me, unfortunately, and I hate to say this, but I think Chimaev is going to be the winner. I hope I'm wrong because I love Kamaru Usman and I'd love to see him go out as middleweight champ or even double champ before he retires. But Khamzat Chimaev has that youthfulness, he has that energy, and he has a huge level of confidence going into this fight. Whereas you look at Usman, his last 2 bouts, he lost. And unfortunately, I feel like that might be an issue for him in terms of confidence, in terms of momentum, in terms of swagger. Remember, when he fought Leon the first time, he was, moving forward, dominating him basically until he got that head kick. And in the second one, he was so concerned with the head kick, I don't think he was able to perform as his best self. And so the question will be, will the welterweight champion of the world, Kamaru Usman, come back? Or will it still be the sort of more timid, less dominating force that we saw the last time he fought Leon? My pick, Khamzat Chimaev.